Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is about to meet Donald Trump. The goal? To work out a truce in the form of a comprehensive new Canada-US Economic and Security Pact. Can they make it happen?
I think we're going to have a great relationship. He called me up yesterday, said, let's make a deal.
Having a quick meeting, that's the easy part. Getting a deal will take longer. Carney has 3 key details to sort out first before negotiations even start. These essential steps involve policy, personnel, and process. So let's start with personnel. Which people will lead negotiations for Canada? After all, Carney has yet to name a cabinet. That's happening in 2 weeks. We'll find out who's in, who's out, who the relevant ministers are, which minister will lead this. They might also name a lead negotiator, a non-politician perhaps. And then there's policy. What's on the table? Now, we know what Canada wants, the end of tariffs.
They are all unjustified, unwarranted, and in our judgment, misguided.
But how hard do we push? And is compromise on the table? In an ideal world, you'd even cement this in law, setting new rules in U.S. law for how a president can use tariffs. That's complicated for a number of reasons. We also know a lot of what the United States wants. More dairy sales in Canada, Ottawa's digital services tax eliminated, and new rules for trading auto parts, especially to keep Chinese car parts out of North America. Finally, more military spending. But a lot of this, what's on the table and when, will depend on the process. To get to a destination, you have to choose a path, a process. Here there's a slow lane, and there's a fast lane, and finally, a middle lane, a sort of compromise between the two. Let me explain. The slow lane is the renegotiation of CUSMA, the Canada-US-Mexico agreement. It's supposed to happen starting next year. Trump would like this to happen sooner, but it's complicated. You can't just snap your fingers and start this renegotiation tomorrow. There are rules. Just to start this process takes like a year under U.S. law. There have to be 270 days of public comment and consultations with Congress. So there's a faster option, a handshake deal. Say Canada agrees to do X, Y, and Z. Trump agrees to drop tariffs. They shake hands, they put out a happy press release, and the rest of us try to put this unpleasant episode in the rearview mirror. But the flaw with that faster approach is it doesn't really mean much. It's just a handshake. It's not ratified by Congress, it's not embedded in law, which makes it super easy for Trump to just change his mind again later.
How can any country trust the U.S. enough to make a trade deal, given that Trump has thrown out existing trade deals?
Finally, there's the hybrid approach, the middle lane. Some parts fast, some parts slow, meaning you have 2 sets of negotiations. In the next few weeks or months, you might announce some sort of handshake deal, you resolve some issues quickly, then you sit down again next year and deal with larger structural issues, meaning we get to do this twice.
If the negotiations with the Americans take longer, so be it.
Of course, there's another complicating factor here. U.S. trade officials are a little tied up. They are busy negotiating dozens, maybe over 100 different arrangements. After all, their boss, Donald Trump, just declared a trade war on the entirety of planet Earth.